Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. From school violence and a persistent classroom shortage to alleged ghost beneficiaries of a voucher program, the country's education sector faces various challenges. All this while the Education Department grapples with a budget cut this year. How is the agency responding? Let's get on point with DepEd Secretary Sonny Angara. Secretary, good to see you. Finally, it's been a very long time.
Thank you, Pinky. Good evening, and thank you to the viewers. Good evening, and thank you for having me on your show.
So much to talk about, but first, belated happy birthday. Di ba
Thank you.
July pa. Matagal na. But anyway, because I haven't seen you, just the same. So let's start with a very unfortunate incident that has been in the news, shooting incidents and even bullying. A number of them. One, of course, that unfortunate incident in Santa Rosa Integrated High School in Webb, where a male shot his supposedly ex-girlfriend. The males, from last we heard, already, perished, died, while the female student is still in critical condition. August 4, teacher killed by a 20-year-old student in Lanao del Sur. August 4 also in Iligan, a 9-year-old male student in hospital after being beaten up by high school students. And also in August 4, 15-year-old female student na binagok daw yung ulo. What is happening? Parang nagkakasunod-sunod yung tung mga ganitong reports, Sec.
Yes, Pinky. I mean, talagang on the rise yung mga bullying incidents. Pero I think the thing about the incidents you mentioned is talagang ngayon lang nag-ata, that I can remember, at least during my time, na nagkapatayan talaga. So, and someone really brought a gun, yung sinabi mong sa Nueva Ecija. Nagdala talaga ng baril. So that I think we have to take this into account and going forward, yung security measures natin, because we have to reassure our parents na the school is a safe place.
And what exactly did you order? Schools to be able to have, some sort of security for the mothers, the fathers, to their children inside the school premises?
Well, we reiterated our security protocols na dapat talagang may taong on duty. Dahil at the time, I think, konti na lang yung tao sa school nun. And although there was a security guard just provided by the provincial capital, talagang unang pasok nung shooter, tinigil sa nung security guard. Pero inantay nung lalaki na magkaroon ng maraming tao. Tapos doon siya nakapasok.
Doon siya lumusot.
Yeah, doon siya lumusot. So, yun, binaril na yung babae. Unfortunately, he died. But, the girl is still alive. But I think, according to the doctors, has suffered extensive brain damage. So, we're trying to help the victim and their family. But there's no school dun wala mo nang pasokan dun sa eskwelahan. At we're providing counseling to the families and para yung trauma nung community.
The students who must have witnessed it.
Who saw it, and even the teachers, I think, probably also need to undergo some kind of treatment.
Dapat hubang, is there extra effort that needs to be done, especially because, Secretary, tuloy-tuloy po itong mga report na ito?
Yeah, I think we really need to look into our security protocols. Some say we should have CCTVs. Some even say we should have security guards, and some feel the police should be visible. But of course, many don't like having police inside the school. So, pero yung PNP chief naman nagsabi na he will increase police visibility around the school. So we're grateful for that. And I think the community has to come together to really fight these incidents and look at the deeper cause siguro yan. Diba? Why are violent incidents on the increase? Siguro could be exposure to these things in media. I don't know. On the internet, maybe. I don't know.
But something that you need to look into.
Yeah, definitely we have to look at the deeper causes rather than just reacting every time there's an incident. Maybe have an anti-violence campaign, and then because if you go online on internet, it seems that violence is present if you know,
If you
go.
choose to watch it, you'll find it.
That's right. It's very easy to find these things. So.
What about, there was a report today about, I think it was the Kabataan, asking for enhanced look into the well-being, mental well-being of students. What are the policies being implemented at present?
Yes, well, we have a new law, the Mental Health and Well-being Act. So there, you're supposed to have learning formation officers who are like, maybe not quite guidance counselor level, but because we don't have enough guidance counselors in the country, we have these officers in schools and then give training to our teachers how to spot, telltale signs of depression, things like that, and to, really have very strict policies against bullying. So we issued our new anti-bullying policy where it's quite strict because we noticed that a lot of schools talagang hindi pa rin siniseryoso yung bullying. So ngayon, sa gusto at hindi, they have to have the policy that we enacted. So,
Good you mentioned that, Secretary, because you signed that amendment, is it, or a revision or a reiteration of this anti-bullying law also on August 4, the same day some of those bullying incidents actually happened. What can we expect with this?
well, the law, it's actually the law is 12 years old already, Pinky. But we noticed that not all schools had complied with the law. The mandate of the law is to, ang sabi sa batas, dapat bawat eskwelahan may anti-bullying policy. But until we pass the new policy, meron talagang schools na walang anti-bullying policy. So what we did is, if you don't have your own anti-bullying policy, eto na ang magiging anti-bullying policy nyo. Yung nandun sa IRR.
I see.
Yeah,
So
by default, that will be the anti-bullying policy. And this will be the penalties, and this will be the reactions. So talagang hindi na nila isipin. They have to follow. Like if it's the first violation or if it's a minor violation, then the teachers can handle it. If it's a second type of violation, which is the threat of physical harm, then it goes to a learner formation officer. And if it's the third type, then you can involve the law enforcement officers already. Yung serious, very serious violations.
offense.
Yeah.
Why do you think there were schools that did not implement this or take it seriously, considering that from last I checked, this Anti-Bullying Act, it was of 2013.
That's right.
Sabi mo nga 12 years ago. Bakit ho kaya? Is this something that, or there's so many other issues that the school officials are looking into, kaya siguro hindi ito masyadong nabigyan ng pansin?
I think maybe it's cultural also. I noticed when the law was passed, I was one of the authors in that. I was still a congressman, Pinky.
2013,
2013, yeah. And the reaction was that, that's normal. Parang ganun. At the time, So I don't know, maybe there are still remnants of that kind of ganong klaseng pag-iisip. At also, maybe hindi nila alam ano yung gagawin nila dun sa polisiya. They were given too much freedom and maybe right now, so we determined na dapat gawin na nating default policy para wala na silang iisipin. They'll just follow whatever's in the implementing rules.
But why is it a revised IRR?
Because the initial IRR did not provide for a default.
I see.
Yeah, with the one that was passed right when the law was kakapasa lang nung batas.
And you're happy, you're comfortable with this revised IRR?
Yeah, I think it's progress and it's more activist in that sense, and it complies, I think, with the new law also passed by Congress on mental health.
Shifting topics to the probe on senior high school vouchers. The last I read was that the DepEd had claimed, would it be correct, would that be the right words, almost 65 million pesos of what is supposed to be 100 million pesos of fraudulent or ghost students from private schools. I guess just for a brief background, I'm sure there's a lot of people that know about this, but what did you find out? I mean, how complicit were these private schools? Sinadya ho ba talaga nilang kumita para dito? Or were there some other issues here that we don't know of?
I think yung iba, it's clear na sinadya. Kasi ang claim na nag-aaral doon for the vouchers in the previous years were very small. Then suddenly, lumaki yung number na claim nila. So that's how I think they discovered some of these violations. Just for the information of our viewers, this is the voucher or the GASPE system or the GASPE law where binabayaran po ng gobyerno ang pag-aaral ng sa pribadong eskwelahan. Kasi siguro puno na yung private school, yung public schools. So binibigyan ng slot sa mga private schools. So yeah, I think it's 60-70 million, Pinky, and as of this date, we've filed 7 cases already against the perpetrators.
And who are the private schools? I was trying to look into it, but I couldn't find them.
Well, I was advised by our lawyer not to name, parang may rights daw yung nasakdal
I see.
dito. So, I mean, of course, I would like to name them, but I guess they have their rights also under existing law, no? But yeah, they're owners of the schools and officials
Are
of
they
the
big
schools.
schools, sir?
Actually, my first time to hear of all of the schools actually. So hindi sila yung household names
Hindi
na
po.
schools. Yeah.
Okay. So seven
Yes.
cases. Are these
All in NCR so far.
civil or criminal?
Civil and criminal. Yes.
And is there anything you found out about this? I mean, talagang modus talaga.
Well, we found
Ganun
out
ba?
that the safeguards could be strengthened here under this. It's already ballooned to a very large amount, Pinky. This whole before the free college education law was passed. This was the biggest scholarship program of the government. Kasi parang scholar ng gobyerno yan. Aside from supporting over 40,000 public schools, merong pinapaaral sa private schools. This was the biggest scholarship program of the government. And there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, who have been benefited by it. Pero kung tinignan natin yung safeguards, parang could be strengthened talaga. So that's what we're looking at going forward. Paano i-strengthen at saka yung pagbantay at saka yung making sure the information, the system is very, there are checks and balances on it.
How much money was lost?
Over 100 million, I'm told.
Okay.
So if we've recovered 70, then we're trying to recover another 30.
How do you recover that?
Well, in the case, that's the it's a case
Dun sa
for
civil
recovery.
case.
Yes,
So
yes.
naibalik na po yun
Yes.
sa inyo nung 7.
We noticed kasi dito, napansin namin na nabayaran na, tsaka lang nalaman. So now, before magbayad ang DepEd, dapat makita muna na talagang maraming dadaan ng checks before maglabas ng pera yung gobyerno.
In a year, Secretary, how much is allotted for this voucher programs, more or
I
less?
think it's over 40 billion. It's probably approaching 50 already. It's a big amount.
In a year?
Yes. Because these are
Did you say billion?
billion pesos. Yes. It's big, very big. So if the budget of DepEd for 2026 is probably going to be 900 billion. So it's already, you're talking maybe 5% of the budget.
If it's about 60
Yeah,
or
so it's
7%.
a flagship program of the government. So I was surprised that the safeguards were not so robust.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are you confident that you have a system right now that has enough checks and balances so that this will not be abused?
Yes, I think so. I think we have a good system in place now that we've placed a lot of checks, and we're not paying. The government is not going to pay until they really prove that person is enrolled in that school. So we're putting checks not only at the central office, meaning DepEd Central, but also at the regional, and asking them to also have their own checks in place.
But Secretary, who was complicit here aside from the school?
Merong DepEd employees then actually who were dismissed and charged. So clearly, kasi we have this thing called the learner reference number that's unique to each student. Yun ay parang
Yun yung ID niya doon sa...
yes. So parang the whole computer system, usually pagka may ganun, pag nagdoble, ma-spot mo na kagad, di ba? Walang sistemang ganun, Pinky. So, sabi ko, the first thing to do is to get your data set in place and make sure na if someone claims that student is there, that name is being used, spot kagad dapat yan, di ba? That's kind of basic. So, I think we've moved towards that kind of system already.
Napakalaki pala nun. I didn't know it was about 60 billion. And talking about the budget, nung kayo po ay umupo bilang DepEd Secretary, was it a little bit, nagkaroon ho ba ng kahit sama ng loob during the 2025 budget, itong budget this year, nung pinag-uusapan po nung December last year, because the budget of the DepEd was actually slashed about more or less 11 billion from what I recall. And I know there was a little bit of tug of war. Even the president, I think, wanted the budget restored. But at the end of the day, you lost about 11 billion. Would that be correct, sir?
That's right. But the president worked to recover it, so the DBM is going to release that money soon to us.
So makukuha niyo po yung 11B.
Yes, but it took, rather than it being released in January, we had to wait for the additional revenue of the government to materialize for it. So credit to the president, credit to the Secretary of DBM for prioritizing education. Of course, yung tumama rin yung loob namin na nag-cut sa education. Because, I was chair of finance for 5 years. And we really don't cut from education. If we can, we try to add to it.
And it is in the law also, by
that's
the way.
That's right. Education should be the highest priority under the Constitution. You're correct.
I guess I asked that because marami po nagsasabi nun na kasamahan na nga natin to sa Senado na inilipat sa DepEd tapos hindi pa natin sinuportahan ng 100%.
And nagulat ako, Piggy, kasi lahat ng nagsalita during the budget deliberation say, if we can, we'll increase it, ganyan. So But anyway, that's water under the bridge, and we're looking forward, and we like what we hear from Senator Sherwin, Senator Bam, who are saying that they'd like to increase the budget to hit 4% of GDP.
I see.
That would be a very historic, and I'm pretty sure it will happen during the Marcos administration because we have about 3 more budgets left. But if it happens next year, then that's truly historic.
What kind of budget are you seeing for next year, more or less?
It's 920 billion, something like that.
All right. Last year, this year was about 737, 750?
No, I think it's 800 this year,
All right. We'll be taking a very short break. We'll continue our discussion with Education Secretary Sonny Angara. When we return, stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back. Still with us, Education Secretary Sonny Angara. Let's talk about K-12. What is the latest? Tell us about it.
Well, the President has instructed us to improve the curriculum. So right now, as we speak, Pinky, we have meron tayong almost 900 schools who are implementing, senior high schools, so grade 11 and grade 12, who are implementing a new and improved K-12 curriculum. What are the main features of the improvements? Number 1, mas konti yung subjects. Kasi ngayon, sa old curriculum, people had, K-12 students in the course of 2 years had to do 33 subjects. Tapos yung core subjects na kukunin ng lahat, kasi may 4 tracks tayo. So even if you're a tech voc, if your focus is tech voc, kahit STEM, you have to take 15 subjects plus another double of that, another 15 for the whole curriculum. So now we're trying to trim it down to 10 to 12 in total. And put number 2, yung greater focus on job immersion. Kasi nga, ang promise ng K-12 is, pagka-graduate, maka-qualify ka na for you have a good chance of getting a job. Magandang chance mo doon. At pangatlo, yung freedom nung learner or student to choose his courses. A lot more electives. So, kung hindi siya sigurado, pwede siya kumuha ng accounting, pwede pa rin siya mag-tech voc. So, he's free to put together his own parang a little bit like college in a sense. So,
in a way, choosing, you have no choice but to take your core.
Yeah, we have
but you have a choice for your electives.
That's
Hindi
right,
na
Nikki.
pilitan, di ba?
That's right.
How is that going to help them? Is that just a better step forward to college?
Yeah. It's a better step to whatever they want to pursue. So some want to go to college, some want to work already, some want to maybe go to TESDA and pursue an even higher national certificate or NC. So whatever they choose, these 2 years will prepare them very well for that. And whether some will choose to work also. So yun, pwede na sila. And the nice thing is the civil service and many businesses have signified that there are jobs available for these graduates.
That's what I wanted to go to, because even when K-12 was thought of, conceived, and all that, the idea really was, pagkatapos mo po ng 12, ready ka na at tatanggapin ka ng mga kumpanya para sa trabaho. But that did not happen, sir.
It was studied by the EDCOM.
Right.
Why? Kasi hindi sila na-certify and na-assess. And when you take a vocational or tech voc course in TESDA, you kasama na doon yung certification mo. Meaning, someone will come, an expert will come and say, okay, you've achieved the qualification, qualified ka na maging this level, NC1, NC2, NC3, in automation. So you have a certain, alam ng industriya na meron kang ganong credential that these are your skills. Eh, ang nangyayari dito, tinuruan natin sila, hindi natin sila sinertify at in-assess. And because the reason why hindi sila naging assess is it costs 1,500 in TESDA. So since the time of President Marcos, libre na yung assessment for all senior high school students.
But,
so now, the reason why hindi nga sila na-hire, hindi alam ng industry anong natapos niya, di ba? Oh, may diploma ka nga, pero anong nagagawa mo? Anong skills mo? So ngayon, meron na siyang NC1 or NC2 or even NC3.
Sec, do you actually really believe that companies would hire someone with that certification as opposed to a company that will first say college graduate as a prerequisite to even apply for a job?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Because that NC is a very specific skill. It represents a very specific skill set. So, dati hindi nga nako-communicate sa employer yon. But now, that's free nationwide. And TESDA, I think in the past year, certified and accredited assessed and certified over 150,000 students in the public school sector.
Okay. Any data on the turnover of that 150,000 students from that to jobs?
We have to look at the data. We're not sure kasi we don't have good links with industry. So we have to focus on how many were hired actually on those guys. So
are you looking into possibly speaking to more companies so that there will be a job match instead of a job mismatch?
Yes, in fact, when we were talking earlier about the plans with industry, they're asking for 640 hours. So they know, they can really malaman nila kung magaling talaga yung bata, kung may fit sila with the company. So that's about 1 semester. So talagang we're going to make that part of the curriculum. And pagka ganun, mas malaki na yung chance na ma-hire yung bata ng kumpanya.
I see.
But the challenge there, I think, Vicky, will be finding, sa mga malalayong lugar, sino yung mga kapartner mong industriya. Dahil hindi naman buong Pilipinas may mga industriya, may mga... So you'll have to be more creative in coming up. We'll have to find partners. But the response has been tremendous, Vicky, from the private sector.
Very good.
The semiconductor industry, the BPO industry, the automotive industry, because they like the idea talaga. Because they also want they also need workers
as soon as possible. There's something that I remember. I think it was Senator Sherwin Gatchalian who mentioned it, or Congressman Roman. I think it was Senator Sherwin who was also suggesting. It's just coming to me now that maybe instead of 11 and 12, parang magkakaroon na lang ata ng isa, tapos pwede nang turn to college.
I think that's Kong Roman.
Oh, was it?
Kong Roman
Okay.
is the chairman sa Basic Education
Right.
sa House of Representatives. Ang gusto niya, pag magaling na yung bata, parang may exit exam siya. Kasi nakita niya daw, minsan, nauulit lang yung subject. Kasi minsan, advanced yung bata. So, nauulit niya yung what he learns in 11 and 12, alam na niya. So, parang gusto niya, may exit tayo doon.
Parang yung pag matalino
parang
ka.
may exit ramp ka sa highway, di ba? Diretso ka na.
Yeah.
So we're trying to work with him to envision
That
something.
might be interesting if you're, smart enough on the 11th, grade 11, that you can actually turn to college after that and skip the 12th grade.
Yeah, kasi in the private sector, in some of the private schools, they have the AP subjects which are college level already. Pinky. So we're trying to see, baka we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just get those exams and kung pumasa dun yung bata, then that means he's ready for college already.
I see. What about computerization? When the budget supposed to be was removed for this year, a lot of that 11 billion was supposed to go to computerization, as I recall. Where are we now in terms of teacher ratio, computerization, digitalization?
Well, digitalization, siguro yung schools with the internet connectivity were probably around 60 to 70%. For teachers with laptops, you're probably short, I don't know the percentage, but wala pang kalahati. Wala pa tayong kalahati. But but may plano si Presidente na talagang i-ramp up for the next 3 years yung, kasi minention niya sa kanyang SONA or State of the Nation address na kada teacher magkakaroon ng laptop. So, I think that's something that's very popular on the ground, natutuwa ang mga teacher dyan.
When do you think this will happen?
I think by 2028, it's possible because we have a proposal also for a PPP, Pinky, which is by then, hindi lang mga teachers, pati lahat ng schools magkakaroon ng tablets and computers. But not quite one learner, one gadget. Hindi pa ganong level.
Why is it taking a while to even look into a PPP, a partnership of that sort with regards to even computerization?
Well, there's quite stringent requirements from that you have to go through when you do PPP. You have to justify that because you're talking about a huge amount of in peso terms, billions yan eh. So, tapos malamang uutangin din yan. So, I think people at our economic managers, our economic agencies want to make sure that sulit yung makukuha, yung benefit. So they really do a lot of economic analysis, yung economic rate of return, what they call it. They're quite stringent or stricto sila dyan. No?
Check di sila computers sa mga warehouse, meron pa ba kayo
Nailabas na
nakatago
namin
dyan?
yun. Nailabas na namin yun, Vicky. When we came in, na-discover namin yun na subject of litigation, may kaso pala yun. Tapos, tinanong namin sa COA, pwede ba namin ilabas yan? Kasi sayang, kasi masisira na yan, sabi namin. Sabi nila, pwede naman, kahit may kaso. At least na ilabas. Kasi kung nabayaran na ng DepEd, pwede na. Yung kaso kasi was about delivering. May kontrata to deliver them na hindi na fulfill. So, we asked the help of the AFP, and eventually we had to contract out because it would take too long to bring them out. But wala na yun. We found over 1 million laptops and pieces of furniture in the warehouse.
Wow.
So sayang, masisira yun. And we were paying, nagbabayad pa kami ng warehousing fees. Yes.
For that.
So getting it out saved us a lot of money.
Well, this year, what is the goal or what can you maybe highlight with regards to this year's budget in terms of maybe classrooms? Kasi I know that, I think even the President or you said that even with classrooms, ang plano rin talaga PPP. I mean, way back.
Yes.
Senator pa lang kayo. I remember Senator Drilon was saying, there's a lot of partnership with the Filipino-Chinese community on building classrooms. How do you envision this so that kahit papano, because kapag secretary ho kayo ng DepEd, isa yun sa mga unang tinatanong, anong backlog mo at ilan ang natapos mo?
That's right. That's one of the things that people really measure us by.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing is that we looked at the numbers na over the years. Parang ang maximum na nagagawa ng DPWH under the school building program is 6,000 a year. If your backlog is 165 or 160,000, 6,000 a year doesn't get you very far, Pinky. That anyone can see that. So that's why we're proposing the PPP. Because the PPP, public-private, we're proposing three tranches na we can build at least over 100,000.
A year?
No, in the next 3 years, we can roll out 100,000.
Okay.
It takes time, to package them together, and it needs to be attractive for the private sector to bid for these things.
Sorry, quick question. How much is a classroom right now?
Well, it ranges
More or
from
less.
2.5 to 3.5, I
Wow.
think. But every year,
Pataas ng pataas
we're
pa
told
yan.
we're told that the cost is increasing. So I remember when I came into Congress, it was less than 500,000.
I was going to say
classroom.
that. Yeah.
So parang
Yung PPP nun,
yeah.
500,000.
So parang if we don't build them now, it's going to get harder and harder.
Okay.
Yung level of difficulty will increase over the year.
We've run out of time.
I just like to add,
Sige,
Pinky,
please, go ahead.
we're proposing a special provision in the budget. Kasi for 2025, nakalagay doon, only DPWH can build the classrooms. We're proposing that even LGUs and possibly civil society organizations, like you mentioned, Senator Julon had a partnership with the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce. Kasi ang daming trabaho ng DPWH, sa totoo lang, they're very busy, they have to repair.
Sir, mas lalo na ngayon. Dahil po sa flood control.
They're extremely busy, They do everything, all the construction in government. So, maraming local governments like the cities, may kaya sila. So we'd like to partner with them. Kasi if one city can put up 200 million, we put up 200, that's 400 million. You can build a substantial number of classrooms and then in-expand mo pa yung building pool mo, so to speak.
And to go back, you were saying that you are going to ask for a special
Provision in the budget. Kasi nga ngayon, there's a
Okay.
special provision that it's only DPWH who can build the classrooms. Sana, let's call it a school building flexibility provision. Parang sana many entities can participate in the program.
And who needs to approve that?
Congress. Yeah.
Congress.
Yes.
All right. DepEd Secretary Sonny Angara. Good to have you. Maraming salamat
Thank you
po.
for
And of
having
course,
me,
good
Katie.
luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.